Once you access the learning continuum, just as you would look at it for the class view, scrolling down, you'll see the test view. Make sure that you're clicking the test or selecting the test that your students took so you can see the continuum of TEKS. Not all TEKS are represented in each grade band for the test. For example, in math, we have the K through 2, the 2 through 5, and the 6 plus. The TEKS for kindergarten through second are represented here, and there are a few extras that go into fourth grade and some pre-kindergarten guidelines as well. When you get to second grade to fifth grade, some of those lower grade TEKS aren't represented right there, and so same thing for sixth grade. Some of those elementary grade TEKS aren't represented there either. Make sure you're selecting the test that's appropriate for your kids that they took. I'm going to go ahead and select the K through 2. When you get into this program, always, always, always edit display options and make sure that the way you're seeing it is how you really are going to understand it best. For me, I group by standard. You can group by no grouping or group by topic. For me, it's grouping by standard is most easiest. Um, for example, if I'm working with a group of students and classrooms that are second grade, of course I'm going to pick second grade. But I'm also going to pick first grade and kindergarten and then third grade right there because I want to see a range of skills and ability. If you pick just one of these grades, it's important to note that the RIT bands right here, not every RIT band is going to have a specific activity or TEKS for every grade. Because remember, the learning continuum is that itself. It's a continuum. It's not at this grade, at this grade, at this grade. It's a continuum of the TEKS and the skills within each reporting category or instructional area. The continuum from the lowest, most foundational skills to the higher ones that build into algebra for us. So after you click Group by Standard and you pick the TEKS, you can collapse this window. If you see at the top, you have the different RIT bands from 111 and I think all the way to about 300. So if you go through any of these reporting categories, for example, whole numbers and place value, at the very beginning of the RIT bands, we have 111, and that's where we start seeing some kindergarten things. And those are just introducing brand new. So we can assume that for numerical representations and relationships within whole numbers in the place value system, these are the most foundational skills that appear between kindergarten to algebra, that appear between whole numbers and place value, right? So as we toggle left and right, we start moving RIT bands to the right, higher up, and we can start to see new TEKS being introduced at different points. And if we look, we also see the previous TEKS from the kindergarten at that previous RIT band now moving from being introduced to it's a skill that students should be developing already that they're working on, especially if they're here. So if you toggle and you keep toggling back and forth, you see a wider range of variety of TEKS being represented, and then more within those TEKS being represented. What I like to tell teachers is almost this could be somewhat of a scaffold. You see different points, different entry points to that TEK for kids. So for K2B, it's reading, writing, and representing whole numbers 0 to 20 with and without objects. So we can see that representing a given set as a number word within 5, reading and writing within 20, representing as a number word within 10. And then that's the reinforced skill of that. So develop is read and write whole numbers within 20. So we move a little bit, and we've gotten rid of that skill because we're already there. Represents a given set of objects, a number within 10, that right there. And now we're introducing a new skill within that same kind of TEK band. Reads and writes whole numbers within 20. So it's important to note again that if I am a third grade teacher and I'm teaching this week and focusing on representing a number on a number line as being between two consecutive multiples of 10, 100, 1000, or 10,000, and use those words, I may be teaching this in my class this week, but I can see that at the RIT score 161 to 170, this TEK has just now been introduced. So if I have kids who are higher than that TEK, well, they're ready for that TEK and other components of it. If I have students lower than that TEK, because this is where it first is introduced, I may be needing to do some scaffolding work. If I'm doing this in whole group, I'm going to need to look back at these previous TEKs to see what to scaffold in. If I am doing small group activities, spending my time on this TEK right here may not be the best use of it. I can incorporate it, but there are a plethora of other areas that the students be working on before they can be confident and successful right there. So it's important to play around and toggle with these. And so this is Learning Continuum class view, Learning Continuum test view. And this is the same for all the TEKs going down.